Hello, Shape. Over fantastic today. In today's verse, we might want to share with you. Let's progress. And speaking of progress, well, I haven't been here for 2 weeks, I believe, and I promise you that I will be like today or something, because yesterday I have took the video because on my PC. I told you that for 2 weeks my PC was a little bit not in the best shape of performance, and now it is running really good. So it has took some time to repairing myself, going to repair stuff like that. So it has took time. I do apologize for it. However, I did still some TikToks. You can watch on my TikTok, by the way, if you want to see it. And yeah, why I have currently not my black shirt, but my white shirt. I have been attending one course where one told me that like black color is often associated with death, and if you have your clothes from a deaf person, or you have a lot of deaf related stuff in your things that you wear, your fields get lower and your energy get lower, and it gets sucked up by the world of the deaf. So deaf people will suck up the energy from you. Same goes for if you have someone, if you get an initiation process by someone who is already dead, and you are using those techniques, I don't know, like Reiki and stuff like that. Be aware, people who are doing it, you might suffer because your energy might be sucked by the dead, if you by the world of death. So if you don't want to be that your energy is be taken one part all the time, then you should get rid of your initiation stuff. Okay. So by the way, thank you for watching. I see you have already 2 people on Facebook, 1 on YouTube, none on Instagram, but maybe someone will tune in. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump into a small introduction. By the way, you can also join my YouTube, by the way, Pogodora, you know it, pogodora. You can just join and watch it from 4K quality. I do my green screen here, I'm playing around, cell phone. So yeah, you can hang out there as well. So yeah, today we want to talk about progress. Let's progress. What's progress all about? Well, we all know what progress is, right? It's just moving forward. And the thing is, we feel actually the most alive we feel is when we progress. When people progress, they feel alive. When we not progress, we feel dead, we feel empty, we feel really bad. We suffer. Let me say it really plain, we suffer. When we don't progress, we feel bad and we suffer. But when we progress, we see something is moving, we are moving, something is getting better, and then we are not suffering. Simple as that, okay? So you feel alive as you progress. And this also generally know that power moves to those who are truly committed to serve at the life. It's about more about than you. So basically, when you committed someone to serve, in first place. In the second place is when you know exactly that life is not just about you, it's about others people. You have to be not egocentric but not ethnocentric. And if you have those both things in place, what will happen is you will get the power, you will get the energy in order to serve even more. And for those who say, no, everything is mine, okay, then you might suffer of some energy lagging. Now, as an entrepreneur, it's really important for you to know that's large and more about your team. So basically, the more you are working with your team, the more you are giving your team stuff, the more you serve your team, the more you feel alive. And the more your company feels alive. If you have a team as an entrepreneur, someone is working under you, someone is your employee, or you do like outsourcing, and someone is working with you. Well, you have to serve the team. If you don't serve the team, you don't feel alive. The most entrepreneurs, they start off first of all serving the team, and then they are losing this kind of grip of serving the team. They're saying everything is just about me. Like, all eyes on me. You're not Tupac. No, you're not Tupac. Even you might be the representative of your own company. However, it is not all eyes on you. You are actually the one who serves your team, who have to work for your company. And her works the most. And of course, if you got like the whole things, like you got a money machine built there, its own place, and then you can work on it and say like, hey, everything is good and I don't need to work. You're like Richard Branson, have 500 of companies, and then say, okay, I don't need to work and don't worry about. But before you get there, you need to serve your team. You need to serve your team the most you can. And the more you do it, you feel the more alive. And the more alive is not just you, but all your company is. Okay? However, the truth is actually most people are living in a place they are not really happy about it. Isn't true and isn't true. It is, regrettably, it is true. And the thing is, they are unhappy in the place they are, but there's one thing. They are not unhappy enough to do anything about it. You might be unhappy, you might hate where you are, but the thing is, you are not that much unhappy that you are taking action of getting your ass out of it. If you know what I mean. And this is pretty easy to understand because, well, I have told you, our brain is like 2-3 times better than getting out of stuff that it hates rather than going to the stuff that it likes. Okay? And because our brain is easily performed when it goes on stuff that it hates, it needs more of things that it hates to get out of the thing that you hate. Okay? It means you haven't suffered enough. Simply as that. If you have been suffered enough, your brain will just say, get the hell out of it. This is what your brain will say. Literally. And it will move your body. It will force your body to move out of the place you are if you have suffered enough. If you have suffered so much so your brain and your body cannot comprehend it. Okay? It is not about being like really radical. It's not about being really things like, hey, I'm such a sadist and stuff like that. It's not a sadistic intention. It's an intention of thinking about other people. And this is why myself and also Tony Robbins are rather watching people who are suffering extensively rather than having a huge of fun, having a huge of pleasure. Because when we suffer, we grow. We do not grow if everything is all right. If everything is all right, everything is on place, our brain don't make a panic round. Don't panic around. You're just saying everything is fine. Okay, cool. I mean, it's cool that everything is fine. But the thing is, when everything is fine, you don't grow. So you have to bring yourself in a place to suffer. And I said, it's not for everyone relevant. But generally speaking, because our brain avoids suffering the most and the best, then it can getting towards the goals it wants. Well, you have to bring in more suffer. You have to bring massive pain rather than massive pleasure to yourself in order to grow. This is why I like more to see people who are in massive pain, because I know it comes a switch in the brain just make them grow the most rather than in massive pleasure. Okay? And I'm talking all about you guys who are currently students or something like that, who are like forced you. I know like in Asian countries, people are saying, hey, you have to become a lawyer, the mom said. And actually, university is the only place where you can choose what you want to have. Isn't so and isn't so. Thank you for watching. Reader Rubanga. Yeah, Erdo Rubanga. And the thing is, when university is the only place where you can choose what you want to learn, don't you? But I think with many Asian, not the most, but many Asian families, they are forcing their own kids to do what they didn't have achieved. Or to say, hey, your father is a lawyer, you have to become a lawyer too. Or like, hey, we are so poor, you have to become a doctor, so we become rich, and so forth. And some people like it, but the majority say like, hey, I hate to learn like the whole medicine stuff. I hate to learn the whole law stuff. I hate the whole thing. And some of them even choose suicide. And guess what? Even when you don't say, even then you say, okay, I have learned it right now, and then you work as a lawyer, and you hate to work as a lawyer. I don't think everyone is. I mean, some lawyers love their job, and it's okay. It's beautiful. But the thing is, many of these lawyers who are there, or many of these doctors, they're really forced, especially in Asian cultures. They're really forced to become a lawyer. They're forced to be a doctor. They're forced to be a politician or something else. And because of this enforcement, they are actually hating their own life, and some of them actually choosing even suicide because they're hating their own life. Okay? And the thing is, that they're choosing suicide because they didn't had too much pain. I mean, they had enough pain. They had enough pain. Otherwise, the brain wouldn't say like, hey, you have to get out of it. But the thing is, in those cultures, especially in Japanese culture, you have something like it calls derikuigauts. It is like the nail who stands up has to be nailed down, back nailed down. And this kind of cultural attitude makes people to not stand up. They hate to stand up before others, to stand out, and they don't like it. But the thing is, your parents are not responsible, or your teachers are not responsible for your life. The only one who's responsible for your life, you have a beautiful life or a life full of suffer, is no one but you. Because life is ephemeral. Everyone can die in a moment. Everyone around you. And then, when someone has said, yeah, you have to become this and this kind of occupation, and you hate this occupation, well, what happened then? You cannot say it's your fault because someone who it might be their fault is already dead. So the only one who is responsible of choosing one or another is you. So instead of going the road, okay, I cannot bear it, I have to go suicide, no. Just quit the job and do something else. Okay? Because if you say you have suffered enough, then you will quit the job. You will quit your job when you have suffered enough in a job you hate. And of course, some people say, yeah, quitting a job is such a thing. Well, you have to put yourself under pressure. Of course, you cannot quit a job you're broke right now. However, if you have collected some money, maybe you can start off your own business and then you can quit a job. But of course, if you want to say, okay, I want to quit a job, do it. It's better. And there's one thing actually I have just seen recently in Nakata Tsuhiko's YouTube University, YouTube Daigaku. He has talked about, he has like this show, it's like a normal talk show. And they made like really a normal talk show with the whole set and stuff like that, like millions and millions of dollars on YouTube. And they are inviting some guests, and one guest, one of the biggest YouTuber in Japan. I mean, one of the richest for sure. And he has started off like in like toilet cleaner or something like that, and he has worked. He hasn't been in college like the most most people in Japan are going to college, but those who are freaking poor, like his family, couldn't afford it. So he has just education maybe of middle school. He hasn't even got to high school. Then he had work from middle school on, and he worked till 21, and he worked his butt off, and he said no more this kind of stuff. And then I started off YouTube channel like playing computer games with his older brother and his friend. And then they become more popular and popular, but it did really rational. It didn't got into really big chunks of it. Didn't got into the really big video games and stuff like that. Like everyone's playing Fortnite right now, or like Apex. He didn't got in this kind of niche. He said, okay, cool, we make this kind of Mario stuff, or we take one of those games that I'm enjoying playing in first place, and second place is, it is not like the major game, it is more like a game that I like to play. It's not really that I'm passionate about, but I like to play. And on the second thing is, it is not that nobody is doing it right now on YouTube, or just not much concurrence in there, and not many people will compete with him, not many competitors are there. So what will happen is they started off this one, and like there's 3 people there, and everyone has rolled out their own games. They pick up 3 games, this kind of niche games, and they did like at least 10 videos each day for 3 years. 10 videos each day for 3 years with 3 people. So everyone did like 3-4 videos each, at least, sometimes 20 or 30 videos. It's just crazy for 3 years through. And then they did like, and then you see the audience is growing. Then they did something else. They started off and ditched out those video games that has not enough views. They said, okay, I don't do it anymore. And now they're one of the, and then he said, okay, I don't do video games anymore. And then he started off his own channel, and now he is one of the, for sure he's like 8 figures, 7-8 figures of business. Now he is even a business owner. He has like currently in Japan, like epilation salons are really common. So he is doing this kind of stuff. Okay, and this is just what I want to tell you. Okay, this is why he had a lot of mind of pain, and he got through this pain, and this pain, massive pain that he had, brought him to start on YouTube and doing this stuff what he's done. His name is Hikaru, by the way. His channel is Hikaru. And the thing is, to get through this kind of stuff, you must to find people. Yes, as Hikaru did, he has his brother and he has his best friend instead of the channel. Of course you can do it alone, but the thing is, some people are better at you at something that you are not. And this is actually also what people like Jack Ma did, who established the whole Alibaba empire in China. He said one thing in one interview: I gathered people who are smarter than me, and I provide them the environment to work for me, to work in an environment that they like. This is what you should do. You should find people who you want to serve, and this is your team. You should find the people you want to serve no matter what. And the key point is, because you want them to serve no matter what, they make you grow. You have to grow yourself to serve them no matter what, to meet their needs. Really important aspect. Just write it down. To progress the most, you should find people that you want to serve the most. You want to serve the most, no matter what. You want to serve them. And this is your team, okay? You want to serve them. And in order to meet their needs and to serve them the best, you have to grow. You put yourself in this kind of situation that you have to grow. Okay? And this makes you really progress. And it's not make progress like it becomes like suffering, becomes really tedious. No, it makes fun because you are trying to give everything to someone you love, to someone you want to provide, someone you want to serve. This is exactly the trick. And as myself, right? I also want to achieve something in my life. But on the flip side, in order to achieve something in my life, I want to help a lot of people to transform their lives, because I believe every one of you deserve a life what you're born to live. Everyone deserves it. Not just me, not just some YouTubers, not just some PewDiePies, not just some Elon Musks. No, everyone deserves the life of their dreams. And this is why I'm here, why I'm providing you these videos, why I'm providing those kind of live streams and so forth. I mean, I had kind of a break for 2 weeks. However, now I'm back and I'm bringing you the stuff. And by the way, in your life, you should have the record of your losses and your wins. And not the record where it didn't swing, where it didn't move. Because regret is the most harmful feeling you might have. It might bring you to the lowest vibrations ever when you regret. And guess what? Most people like 17, 80s, they are full of regret. They're always talking about, would it be cool that I could do this one, when I had like the money, when I have the time, when I have the power, when I have the energy. And I'm just asking myself, where have you been? Why do you haven't taken freaking action where you could? I don't know. And whose fault is it? That's my fault. But the thing is, you don't have to blame yourself. Blaming is the last thing you can do to yourself. Honestly. And don't beat yourself up. But what you should do, you should move. Because the most achievers are losing the most. They have more loss than they have wins, basically. And sometimes, as I said, when you have so many losses, first of all, when you have many losses, what is good to have many losses? First of all, for example, you have rejections, and this is kind of lost for you, right? And when you get the rejections over and over again, you get rejected, you feel immune from it. You get a rejection, okay, cool, I get the next one, right? And you just get the rejection. But sometimes, if you don't have any results like for years, your brain said, hey, dude, it suffers most and most and most, and then it just clicks, and then your brain says, I can't bear it anymore. And then your brain makes yourself to win. So my key to you, if you want to win, and you say, I have never won, you haven't lost enough. You have to lose more and more and more. But the key is to keep on the momentum. It does not matter if you win, if you not win. The key is the momentum. If you keep on the momentum, you keep on moving. If you lose or win, it doesn't matter. You just move. And before you recognize it, you might lose several thousand times. However, this kind of thousand times gives you so much pain that your brain has brought you to win from now on. And now you're just killing it. This is the mechanism of it. It's nothing complicated. Okay? Awesome. Reshaper, I hope you got some value from it. If so, smash the like button, share with your friends, and comments box down below. What's number thing you picked up so far? As always. And I just want to make a immense shout out to Erdo Rubenga, some people on YouTube and Facebook, Instagram. Have an awesome day, and as always, do not let yourself to passion now. See you tomorrow.